what can you add? How have you used Holoviewing, or have you taught it to some in terms of business?
Okay, when it comes to hollow viewing, like you mentioned already, and is much better, use when before you go to bed, right? Because that's where you really go just all the way to Delta flight, if I can use that
Yeah.
expression here. Okay, so is recommended to just do it at that time. So years ago, I remember it was in 2005, and I use it usually in tough cases where, you know. I choose the name Achille, here. It was a voluntarily chosen name, right? As a reminder, knowing the mythology, okay, Achilles heel, knowing the mythology to remind myself that as human being, we have to accept that we have some limitation. For me, there are no weaknesses. There are limitations where we need to let the universe help us. It's okay. So I really use hollow viewing when I face those moments where I feel just limited. Right. So back in 2005, I remember when the state of department reached out to me professionally. I got so many block roads. I couldn't understand. Everything was lined up. Officials were just so interested, and there was just some roadblock I couldn't understand. So again, you just, for me, it was like, praying, but hollow viewing to bring hollow viewing in perspective here, right? So you go to level that moment where, you actually present the situation, then you analyze the situation, you don't spend too much time on it. Now you let your desire, deep desire that you have come out, and whatever else you're not seeing out of this to come, and the powerful part is you let it alone. Just leave it there. Don't even worry thinking about it. I think as human being impatient, right? We tend to try to now just the next day. Oh, we start like trying to think and find the solution. So why did you go for help at that point? That's why I really use it when I feel in business deals and all that limited. And can you imagine that the following year? So it took almost a year for me actually to get the answer that I already received when I did the hollow viewing 3 days after, maybe 4 days. I can't give specific, but with the silver technique, you are invited, is recommended to give 3 days, give a rest for 3 days. No worry about it. So that was very powerful for me to already be exposed to things like that were revealing. And my business partner, when we actually started wEquipu, okay, then the technology and intuitive development company, I used the hollow viewing technique too. And we've been business partners for more than 10 years today. So when I did it, I was requesting for the right partner to be able to build the mission, right? I know the mission that I'm given as a human being in the professional arena. By the way, whoever is listening to this, it doesn't just apply to business owners or business, because a business is nothing without the team inside. So all the professionals that are working in an organization have to leverage on this, right? So side note, Apple logo, right? But it came from a team member. But today is $1 billion company, but somebody was innovative. Somebody was knew how to go to level, to use imagination to bring a solution then to people problem. So my business partner, again, it was hollow viewing. And you know how it came? It's so funny when you use hollow viewing and you lay yourself, you submissive, right? You obedient. That's the challenge, right? So I did the whole thing, and my goal was, okay, you know what? I need to really get. Here's the issue. I don't want to get in business by myself. It never had been the case. I always have business partners because I strongly believe that the more you share the pie, the better you actually the better off you are, right? So that's my desire. This. Okay, now I'm looking for this to be able, and it has to be somebody who has a knock, okay, in technology too. And just let it learn. So
Wow.
4 days later, I was parking. I remember, I think it was a networking event or something. And then I was parking again, the three finger technique. It was something that because you so strong desiring, right? You have them the soul desire, with the three finger technique that you mentioned, right? You can actually look for parking and all that. So I find a parking where I was parking at the right time with someone. I will call it someone for now. Okay. Hi, how are you? Okay, that's all. You stop there. We all paid for the parking, and then we walked. We went to the event. Until then, it was just hi, how are you? Good. And then we move on. So it was in the room. I started seeing the signs in a dream that I had 4 days before.
Wow.
And long story short, this man have been my business partner, overseeing 14 people as team members the last 10 years plus.
And you met him at the meeting.
I just met him at the meeting and with a sign in the room. I was like, oh, okay, why didn't I think about this? But the sign started at parking.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love how we invite our students. When you start getting familiar with this technique, take note of your dreams. They're not random. They're not just, whatever. Okay, you didn't sleep well, or maybe, no. Take note of some dream because you can refer to that. And the beauty is that it allows you to strengthen your subjective muscles because they're happy too when we can acknowledge, oh, thank you. You showed me this last time. So that's all very quick I wanted to put out there. Holoviewing is very powerful, but just be obedient and you'll see a lot of what people may call miracles.